tricking so many Americans into believing that getting rid of the Department of Education is a good thing has got to be one of the most heinous crimes against Americans. The marginal dollars that you think you're gonna save, which, by the way, you're not. What a joke. They fucking played you so hard. Education, access to education, access to resources that enable education is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. To strip that away from people, it's disgusting. I'm smiling, but it's not funny, and I actually genuinely feel bad for those people. This is not one of those like dancing on your grave kind of things. No, I feel so bad for you.
Welcome to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement tip line. If you'd like to report an illegal alien anonymously, please say representative.
Representative.
Hello, this is ICE Anonymous Tip Line. This is Officer Gomez speaking.
Gomez? That seems a little suspicious. Oh, anyways, I was just calling to...
Excuse me?
Yeah, no, I was just calling to report an illegal immigrant.
Okay, how can I help you?
Yeah, so there's like so many illegals in my neighborhood. I was just calling to report one specifically that I know for sure is probably illegal.
Oh, okay, great. What U.S. city are you located in?
I'm in Los...
Okay, perfect. What's the name of the person?
It's Slovenian, so I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I'm gonna try. It's Melania Trump.
Melania Trump.
Maybe I'm not saying it right. I don't know. It's Slovenian, so maybe it's Melania Trump. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. You can try that. But basically, she's been out here just like bragging nonstop. You know, she was a model in the 90s. Supposedly, she came over in 96, I think, on a tourist visa. Tourist visa, had like 10 different jobs as a model, and I don't think you're supposed to work on a tourist visa. So I was just calling to see if we could get her out as quickly as possible.
Okay, we'll send someone out there to investigate this as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. I appreciate your help. Thanks so much.
Yeah, all right, bye.
What's up, viewers? It's your boy Mr. TA, and I'm very excited to be back in yet another episode. Those viewers who have already subscribed, may God bless you, and those who have not yet subscribed, please consider supporting me by smashing on the subscribe button and also giving this video a like. So as you know, we have been in the finding out season. Those MAGA voters who effed around are now finding out. They're finding out, and that's why I have decided to put together a bunch of videos for you guys to watch. I want you to watch them, and at the end I will come back and give you my own insightful commentaries. Please, as you're watching, let me know what you think about the video down there in the comment section.
So what if Republicans eliminate the Department of Education? Schools existed before 1980. What did we all do before the Department of Education was established? I'll tell you what happened. Your pawpaw dropped out of school in the 6th grade because he had untreated, undiagnosed ADHD and was given no resources or supports or accommodations for his dyslexia and never learned how to read. And your mama, despite being a straight-A student, was forced to quit high school at 16 because she got pregnant and her parents and the principal wouldn't let her return. The reality of most of our students before 1980, before the Department of Education was established, was that they had no rights within the public school system. If you want a good idea of how our public schools looked before the Department of Education was established, I would suggest go visiting any one of your neighborhood charter schools or religious private schools. What you're going to get is a campus that caters mostly to neurotypical learners, kids from affluent households, white students. When Republicans complain that there are too many strings attached to public school funding that the federal government sends them, they sound like an iPad kid that's mad that there are parental controls on their YouTube app. Given the opportunity, they would use it for anything but its intended purpose and what they were allowed to use it for. How did we survive before the Department of Education? We really didn't. Kids starved because they didn't have lunch money. Before the federal government forced states to take care of their disabled children, kids with physical disabilities and nonverbal autism were stuck in storage rooms converted into classrooms and forgotten about all day. Before the federal government started forcing schools to do the right thing by way of the Department of Education, immigrant children and English language learners were thrown to the wolves and left to their own devices and not given any special services to accommodate. But I'm not pointing out any of this to change a Republican's mind. Nobody is going to change their mind because that is what they want. This is baked into the plan. They know that they can slash their state education budgets in half half if no one's coming up behind them and telling them they have to spend that money on our kids.
It's time to speak up. Today is the day education is unalived in the United States. Trump is signing an order abolishing the Department of Education. Now, this is because an uneducated populace is easier to control. He doesn't want us educated. He doesn't want us thinking. He doesn't want us reading, because now we have officially gone from a constitutional republic with democratic principles to a dictatorship. We are living in an authoritarian regime now, people, and there is no denying it. There's no denying it. Additionally, you know who loses almost 100% of their funding in schools under this program? Special needs kids. Special needs kids, and I'm getting reports from around the country, are already getting letters from their schools saying that they will no longer be offered their services. That's right. That's what he's doing. What are we going to do about it? Go out there and love your neighbor.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker.
I just want to let you know, we see you. All your protests are coming through. It's very hard to censor media in the UK. It's all coming through. We see you. We're so proud of you. You've not resorted to violence. You're doing what needs to be done. You know the traps that are being set. It's amazing. You are leading right now, and it's amazing. And it's getting out. Europe sees it. The EU sees it. We all see it. And something you may not know, might not get reported there, after that journalist being added to that group text chat, Donald Trump is an absolute joke. You should see the media over here. They are ripping him apart. What you're doing is making a difference. And we support you in that. We know what's happening in April. Love the fact people of colour are staying at home. They know. They know it's an excuse to use them. And I love the fact a lot of white folk in America are saying, yeah, you're right, you should stay at home, let us do this. That's amazing as well. You've got everything going for you now. Don't give up. It's being seen. We're there for you, okay? We see you. We see you.
You know that Trump has been making good on his promise to deport pretty much everyone, not just people who are illegal, but even people who have green cards who maybe talked bad about him in a text message, because that stuff is happening. Many of us prior to this said, hey, this is going to cause problems, and now those problems are here. For example, Trump's immigration crackdown raises questions for agriculture industry's migrant workforce. Migrants make up a lot of the agriculture, like picking of produce and so forth. One place that has a ton of that is Florida. And while Governor Ron DeSantis is really big on immigration and getting all of these people deported, he also has to deal with the fact that now there are holes that need to be filled in our workforce. But don't you worry, he has a plan. What is that plan, you may ask? Who is this otherwise untapped workforce that's now going to fill the gap left by all of these migrant workers? Well, children, of course. Florida debates lifting some child labor laws to fill jobs vacated by undocumented immigrants. His answer is children. The state's legislature on Tuesday advanced a bill that would loosen child labor laws, allowing children as young as 14 years old to work overnight shifts. If the new laws pass, teenagers would be able to work overnight jobs on school days. They are currently prevented from working earlier than 6:30 a.m. and later than 11 p.m. per state law. I mean, the research shows that starting school earlier leads to kids who don't do as well in school. If you can start a little bit later, and if you can make sure that those children have eaten something, they learn much better. But we're going to throw into the mix, they should get out of school, go home, do their homework, maybe grab some dinner, then head to their overnight job. Work graveyard shift. Finish up at, 6 a.m., run home, grab a quick shower, and then back to high school for all of that learning. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when you know teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be able to do this stuff, DeSantis said last week. And hey, I've had family members who are like, yeah, I was out working a full-time job at 13 years old. I had to help provide for the family because that's how things were. You know what that grandfather didn't accomplish during that time? He didn't get an education. He had a 5th grade education. In the past 5 years, child labor law violations in the state of Florida have increased by 300%. And apparently the solution for that is, let's just get rid of the laws, so then there is no violation. Can't violate a law that doesn't exist. Let's not have people who are making a better life for themselves and contributing to our society and paying taxes that they can't even access, paying into Social Security that they can't even access, that benefits everyone else.
And I've been trying to read what MAGA folks think about this on Twitter. I have found that some MAGA folks were supporting this. They were saying that the Department of Education is useless. They were saying that education system was better before the establishment of the Department of Education. And going back in the history, Department of Education was established in 1979. And before the establishment of Department of Education, each state has its own schooling system, which means that each state has its own curriculum. I would be from Nebraska and somebody's from California, and then you receive different educations. Some states would refuse teaching some subjects, while others would teach those subjects. And that was very bad, because people from America would be receiving different qualities of education. Now, after establishing Department of Education, here is one thing that the Department of Education did. First of all, welfare state had a higher quality of education compared to those poor states. Now, the federal government started funding those poor states through the Department of Education so that they can upgrade the education system and then catch up with those welfare states. Another thing that it has done is considering those marginalized groups. Before the Department of Education, states were not caring about those marginalized groups. Children with disabilities, immigrants who couldn't speak English, they were not being considered. But after the establishment of the Department of Education, they started including those children, those marginalized groups in their system. Now, another thing that Department of Education has done was that before, when somebody would be graduating from high school, now about to go into the higher studies in the university, if you're not able to pay for your tuition, if you're not from a rich family which could afford to pay for your tuition, it would be hard for you to get into the university. Or you would ask for a private loan so that you can get into the university. But after the Department of Education, they established this loan system where a student, especially those students from poor backgrounds, would apply for a student loan and then go for higher studies and then be able to pay after his or her graduation. That was very good. After that, many people from poor backgrounds were able to join higher studies and later pay their student loans after starting to make money. Now, I don't understand how MAGA folks would go out there on Twitter and start saying that this Department of Education is useless. Now, imagine how students would be receiving different qualities of education just because the state doesn't have the same capacity to fund their education. Somebody from Nebraska wouldn't be able to get the same quality of education as somebody who is from New York or California. And that's what's the problem. Now, imagine if Trump gets rid of Department of Education. Imagine the kind of problem that he will bring in the education system in America. And that's it for today, guys. That's my own opinions. If you've got your own opinions, please share with us down there in the comment section. And those viewers who have watched until this time, may God bless you.